we are going to get into a kind of hidden language in music today. It's something that's hiding inside, thousands of songs you hear all the time. It's called the 12-bar blues.
It really is a secret code. It's this foundational structure that lets musicians who have literally never met, never rehearsed, just walk on stage and play.
And play a real song together coherently. That's what I find so amazing.
Exactly. It's all about this shared map that everyone just knows.
So that's what we want to unpack. How does this simple blueprint work? Why does it only need 3 chords? And how did it end up changing pretty much all of modern music?
To get that, you really have to start at the beginning because this isn't just some technical formula. It has really deep emotional roots.
Right. I think knowing the history helps you actually hear the emotion in the music. So where did this journey start?
It came out of African American communities in the Deep South way back in the late 19th century. It wasn't formal. Nobody wrote it down in a book.
It was more organic than that.
Totally. It was a blend of things. You had oral storytelling, you had the rhythms from work songs, and of course the spirituals from church. It all kind of melted together.
So the purpose then wasn't really entertainment at first. It was more functional.
It served a vital human need. It was a reliable frame for people to express really deep personal feelings, the struggles of daily life, their hopes, everything.
The repetition in the music must have helped with that. It makes it almost hypnotic.
Yes, that simple, repeating cycle made it a perfect container for heavy emotion. A musician could just sit on a porch with an acoustic guitar and use those 12 bars to tell their whole life story.
And then that story started to travel.
It did. With the Great Migration, the music moved with the people. It went from those rural areas right into big cities like Memphis, St. Louis, Chicago especially.
And I imagine the sound changed when it got to the city.
For sure. That's when you started to get other instruments added in. The piano brought a little more sophistication, and then, the electric guitar.
Which brought the volume.
And the energy. That's basically the beginning of rock and roll right there. But the core always stayed the same. Guitar, harmonica, and piano.
Okay, let's break down this blueprint. The 12-bar blues. What does the number 12 actually mean here?
It's purely about the structure. A blues song is built on a cycle that's made of exactly 12 measures. Musicians call them bars.
So you can think of those 12 bars as like one complete musical paragraph.
That's a great way to put it. And once that paragraph is finished, it just starts right over again.
And inside each of those bars, you've typically got 4 beats. So you have this really steady pulse going.
And that's the key. Because everyone knows the cycle is 12 bars long, they can predict exactly when the big changes are coming.
Everyone's reading from the same invisible map.
That's the entire secret. It's what makes improvisation possible.
Okay, but improvising a solo sounds incredibly complicated. How can they do that with such a simple structure?
Well, the toolkit they're using is surprisingly small. The entire foundation of the 12-bar blues. It only relies on 3 chords.
Just 3. We hear musicians talk about them as like the I, the IV, and the V. What does that mean?
It's just a way of numbering them based on their position in a musical scale. The I chord, that's your home base. It's the key of the song. It feels stable, resolved.
Like you're sitting comfortably at home.
Exactly. Then you've got the IV chord. That's like stepping out the front door. You're moving away from home a little, creating a little bit of interest.
It pushes the story forward.
Right. And then comes the V chord. That's the drama.
The tension.
Oh, absolutely. The V chord creates this powerful musical tension that just begs to be resolved. It feels like it has to go back home to the I chord.
So the whole emotional journey is just home, away, and tension that leads back home.
That's the whole story in a nutshell.
Right.
But it's also about the specific sound of those chords. They're not usually just plain major chords.
They have a little something extra.
They do. They're almost always what we call dominant 7th chords.
Okay, what does adding that 7th do?
It adds grit. It's a slightly dissonant note that makes the chord sound a little unstable, a little restless. It's what makes the music sound blue. It gives it that soulful, dirty texture.
So if you just master those 3 chords, the I, IV, and V, especially in their dominant 7th form.
You've got the vocabulary to play literally thousands of blues songs.
But vocabulary isn't enough. You need grammar. You need to know what order to put them in.
Precisely. And that order, the progression, is very strict over the 12 bars.
How strict are we talking? Give us the bar-by-bar map.
Okay, it's rigid, but that rigidity gives you freedom to be creative on top of it. It starts by setting the scene, bars 1, 2, 3, and 4. all in the I chord.
Establishing home base. Solid.
Then, bars 5 and 6, you get the first change. You move to the IV chord.
That's the stepping out the door moment.
Right, but you don't stay there long. Bars 7 and 8, you come right back home to the I chord, just to touch base again.
Okay, so that's 8 bars down. We're heading for the finish line.
And this is where the drama kicks in. Bar 9 hits that high-tension V chord, the climax. Then bar 10 often moves to the IV chord just for a moment.
And the last 2 bars.
Bars 11 and 12 bring you back home to the I chord to finish the cycle. But they do something special there, which we'll get to. That whole sequence is the roadmap.
And musicians practice that until it's just automatic. It's muscle memory.
It has to be. And that structure is so reliable, it even shapes the way the lyrics are written.
Right, the AAB lyric pattern.
Yeah.
This is so cool in its simplicity.
It really is. The first line of text, we'll call it line A, is sung over those first 4 bars of the I chord.
And then you repeat it.
You repeat it. Line A comes back again, maybe with a slight change, over the next 4 bars. That repetition really hammers the main idea home.
And then the B line comes in as the punchline.
Exactly. Line B is a new line, it usually rhymes, and it gives you the answer or the conclusion. And it's sung over those final high-tension 4 bars. So the music and the poetry resolve at the exact same time.
This AAB pattern also leaves these perfect little empty spaces in the music.
Yes. And those spaces are crucial for what we call call and response.
The musical conversation.
That's what it is. It's what keeps the music from feeling static or boring. The singer will sing a phrase, the call.
And then another instrument, like the guitar or harmonica, jumps in with an answer, the response.
Right in those gaps. The singer lays out an idea, then the guitar comments on it. It's this back and forth that makes it feel so alive and communal.
And you still hear that everywhere today. Gospel, hip-hop, it's all built on that dynamic.
Now, beyond the chords and the lyrics, there's the overall feel. The 12-bar blues almost never has a straight, rigid beat. It's got a special groove.
The shuffle.
The shuffle feel or swing. It's bouncy. The notes aren't played evenly. It's more of a long, short pattern. Think of a loping, walking motion.
And the drummer is key to this with the backbeat.
Oh, the backbeat is everything. The drummer hits the snare drum hard on the 2nd and 4th beats of every single bar.
So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, you're feeling 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's the driving force. It's what makes you want to move. That backbeat is what turned the blues into rock and roll.
So the band is grooving. They're approaching the end of the 12 bars. But the song's not over. It's a loop. How do they signal that they're about to start again?
With a special musical phrase called the turnaround.
The turnaround sounds important.
It is. It happens in the last 2 bars, 11 and 12. And its only job is to signal to everyone, the band, the audience, that the cycle is ending and about to restart.
How does it do that?
Usually with a series of quick, flashy chord changes that build up a little burst of energy and point your ear right back to the I chord at the start of the next cycle. It ties the loop together seamlessly.
And that seamless loop provides the perfect canvas for the most exciting part of the blues.
Improvisation.
Making up melodies on the spot, but staying inside that predictable 12-bar frame.
It's the ultimate freedom within a structure. But to make it sound like the blues, you can't just play any random notes. You need a specific palette.
The blues scale.
The blues scale. It's a special set of notes that gives the music that soulful, kind of melancholy sound.
What makes it different from a regular scale?
It has what we call blue notes. These are notes usually the 3rd, 5th, and 7th that are slightly lowered or flattened. They sound just a little bit off.
And that's where the emotion comes from.
That's the sound of soul. When a guitarist bends a string or a singer slides into one of those notes, it sounds like crying or laughing through the instrument. That's the tension. Those notes clash beautifully against the main I, IV, and V chords.
And that scale became the foundation for basically every rock and jazz solo ever played.
It's the engine of modern soloing, absolutely.
So when you put it all together, this simple 12-bar structure from the 1890s, I mean, its influence is just massive, isn't it?
It's basically the DNA of almost all modern popular music. It's the original source code.
You can see it so clearly in rock and roll. Musicians in the 50s just took the blues, sped it up, cranked up the backbeat, and plugged in an electric guitar.
And you got rock and roll, Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good, that's a fast 12-bar blues. Elvis Presley's Hound Dog, same thing.
Even jazz musicians used it. They took the simple frame and used it as a basis for their most complicated, wild improvisations.
Because they knew the structure was strong enough to hold it all together. And you still see its echoes today. Country music uses that IIVV progression all the time. Pop songs use the AAB storytelling method. It's everywhere once you know what to listen for.
So for anyone learning an instrument, this seems like the place to start.
It's the fastest way to learn the language. A good first step is to just listen to a blues song and count. Count to 12 over and over until you can feel the loop without even thinking.
And then maybe try to hear the chord changes.
Yes, try to hear that first big shift from the I chord to the IV chord right at bar 5. Once you can hear that, you're on your way.
You could even practice the AV pattern yourself just by writing.
For sure. Write a simple 3-line poem. Line 1, repeat line 1, then write a rhyming line 3. You're writing the blues.
So it's clear the blues is so much more than just sad music. It's this brilliant mathematical and emotional structure that gave musicians the freedom to tell their stories.
And in telling those stories, they ended up changing the sound of the entire world. Understanding this framework really is the key to appreciating why music connects all of us.
Good luck with your studies.